see it last year. It was one of the best events I think we were involved with in 2022. It's great to have it back again this year. And still a couple of last-minute organisations being made, but hopefully we will have commentary around the clock twice for the Buckmore Park 24 hours. But anyway, even if we don't, and it's the same as last year and we do 12 hours of the race, do tune in next weekend, Buckmore Park 24 hours. It is going to be a humdinger.
Yeah, I've got to say I'm gutted that I can't make it to that one because, really good event, and that one's going to be fantastic. Here, though, we're going to be good for a start, I think. Top 4 get promotion through to the B final. Beyond that, it's how many points can you maximise from the round. Andy Bushell leads them away for 12 minutes of racing in this C final. Through Oblivion and the Crook they go, and it's a good start for both Andy Bushell. Oh, it's a particularly good start for Andy Bushell as James Britton comes under pressure for second place from Jake Wilkins, it is, who's had a good start there. We've got some drivers cutting across the grass, but they are all, for now, I'm delighted to say, pointing in the right direction as they come over the top of the hill and down towards Ashby for the first time.
Just got to get your eyes forward if you're in Andy Bushell's position now. Good clean first lap and a good clean second lap, and he could be away here. Oh, a bit of a squirrely moment there in the mid-pack for one of the drivers, and it's already breaking down behind. This is what we see in these promotion finals sometimes. A couple of drivers get off the front and then everybody else fighting for the remaining places, nearly 3 wide as we go into the boot for the first time. The number 78 of James Britton trying to get back on terms here after not the best of starts. Andy Orford's trying to come through as well there in the 47. End of lap number 1 then. Bushell leads by half a second ahead of Jake Wilkins, who's then 2.1 seconds clear of Dean Everest, James Britton, Andy Orford, James Dunnett and James Scanlon. Ryan Williams there in the all-purple, and the Lewis Hamilton replica helmet is in 8th.
That was a very slow-moving James Dunnett up the hill there, Andrew. I think he's lost out a few positions there. Not quite sure what happened, but he's dropped back, I think, outside the top 10.
And penalty for James Scanlon, and that's it. Now, we didn't mention this before the start, but the one thing you do not want to get in the early stages of a C final when you're up the front is a +4 position bump and pass penalty, and unfortunately for James Scanlon, that is exactly what James has got. That means he's out. Doesn't matter if he wins this race or finishes first on the road by 20 seconds over the rest of the field. It's a +4 penalty. The best Scanlon can be classified is 5th, which of course is outside the top 4. 10 minutes to go. Longer races. You have to play these races differently when you're in this situation. Down the inside goes James Britton on Dean Everest. Oh, gets a little bit squirrely, and that's a mistake, and that's what we're talking about in terms of keeping calm.
Yep.
James Britton didn't need to make that move. He's made a mistake whilst making it and is now outside of the top 4.
Absolutely, that is precisely what we're talking about as James Scanlon goes side by side with Ryan Williams there briefly, and that allows Kim Ely to get involved as well. She's going to try and get by on Scanlon, but it stays as they were for now. And there's the point from, that was Ryan Williams. And that, I've not seen it said that emphatically before. That was a good point. He pointed to the front and then held up 4 fingers to say,
we've got to push to the front.
Yeah.
There's no point at this stage of the race fighting for 6th, 7th, 8th places and letting those key positions for the story of the round getting away. The trouble is, has Ryan Williams got the pace to stay in this position? Because James Scanlon and Kim Ely are going to be looking up the inside, wanting to take that spot on the road, take that track position. That's exactly what Scanlon's done. Kim Ely's just got to play it patiently here. I think she's got the pace to race through here. We'll need a bit of help around. Forcing to the inside, trying to scrabble for that track position. 8.5 minutes to go. It looks like Kim Ely has got that, but back through comes Ryan Williams, and all this fighting means that those drivers up ahead are going to be getting into a more comfortable position for themselves. And number 89 of Harrison Earl is coming through the order as well. Good support for Harrison in the chat we've seen so far today. Could be on for a good finish here. Andy Bushell still leading this race though. Hasn't made a B final so far this year in the lightweight sprints. He's on course to do just that. Half a second clear of Wilkins still. But crucially, Howard, 3rd and 4th places now. Here they are on your screen. Dean Everest and Andy Orford. 2 of those drivers I think you'd say have the pace to be in the B final.
Yeah.
They're now working together really nicely They've got 8 tenths over James Britton, and the pace is pretty much the two fastest drivers on the track at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And Andy Orford, as you say, two of the fastest drivers on track. Orford with the fastest lap of the race. They're responding, or they're doing exactly what they need to do. Oh, no, they're not. They're battling. Andy Orford trying down the inside of Dean Everest. Now, he might be feeling... Now, there is a reason why you might be battling like that. It's like, well, I don't want to be on the bubble.
No.
I don't want to be the one in fourth place defending the last of the promotion spots. He's got to be careful about how he does it, because there you go, fastest lap of the race. In fact, several fastest laps of the race is coming in behind them, initially set by James Britton. James Britton is pushing hard here, and they've really got to be careful. Here we are at the front of the field. This is Andy Bushell versus Jake Wilkins. Now, they've got 2.7 seconds in hand over those behind them, so maybe can afford to have this little scrap right here, but they can't do even this. They're not like that at all. They've both just held each other up there sort of clumsily through Ashby. It's really given the gap to Bushell, so I think that's paid off for Bushell. But yeah, it needs to be clean, it needs to be decisive when you do it, and frankly at this stage the other driver has to concede fairly readily as well at this stage and have the eyes on the prize of promotion.
That's a good move from Andy Orford.
It is,
up to third place. Now, when you're in Andy Orford's position now, okay, you've moved past Dean Everest, you've taken that initiative. You've now got to show the driver behind you that you've got the pace, and you've got to have a clean lap to show that change of position benefited you both as a duo. Dean Everest makes a mistake there, gets his braking wrong through Christmas Corner. James Britton is going to like his chances, I think, here. He's been steady, he's been keeping it on the black stuff, and he's now in prime position to try and get one overtake done to get himself in the top four. But all the while, James Scanlon and Kim Ely are coming in here. Remember, Scanlon has a penalty from earlier in the race. Doesn't matter where Scanlon finishes in this race, won't finish in the top four once the race has been classified.
And I think it's key, as you say, that we see a good turn of pace from Orford at the moment. Tantalisingly close for James Britton. He's been working so hard to push up onto the back of these two, and himself and James Scanlon and Kim Ely actually all setting great pace over the last few laps. Another fastest lap of the race, fastest lap of the race currently with James Scanlon in their laps where they're trying to push through that. Here's our top two again. They haven't got that much in hand, have they? Just the 2 seconds that they've got over Orford and Everest.
They need to keep tactically, they need to keep working together, because eventually, if they just keep that 2.5 second gap, eventually this quartet will go, we're not going to be fighting for first and second here, let's start fighting for third and fourth. We just don't want to allow this second chasing group back into the fight. Oh, here is Kim Ely.
Yep.
Really giving this a good go is Kim Ely. That's a key move, I feel, for Kim Ely. Up to 6th place now. May get a track limit warning for that one.
Absolutely. I have to say that was a good lap from Orford and Everest. They've got back on the pace there and just staved off a little bit of an attack from James Britton. Now with 4 minutes to go, the question for James Britton, Kim Ely and James Scanlon is whether the gloves come off. Well, having said that, actually, sorry, James Britton has a bit of a cushion against Kim Ely. As further back, that's a fantastic battle going on into Ashby Corner.
It's James Dunnett and Keaton Ford. I think Johnny Fletcher's trying to fight through as well there. Yes, Johnny Fletcher is, and getting a little bit frustrated. Round go 1, 2, 3 drivers, all getting a little bit messy as they go through Wilkins there.
That's unusual.
Another look there. I think that was Johnny Fletcher down the inside. It is very difficult to make an overtake through Wilkins. Got to be well alongside on the approach to that corner to get a successful move. 2 leaders still as you were, Bushell and Wilkins. 3.5 minutes to go. What is this pace looking like? It's all right. Similar. All of the top 4 currently in the high 54s. But keep an eye on Kim Ely, because Kim is just under 54.315, fastest lap of the race so far. So contact warning comes in for Johnny Fletcher there. At that rate, Howard, I think this is still potentially on for James Britton and Kim Ely.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to have a crack at this one, unless Andy Orford and Dean Everest can find a bit more pace to respond. It's settled. It's settled now between Britton Ely and Scanlon. They can just push on together. Don't count out James Scanlon, by the way. If battles start ahead of him, he's in this fight as well. So this, I think, is going to be really tight. And there is the fastest lap of the race from James Scanlon, as if to back up my point. And it's not that big a gap now between Jake Wilkins and Andy Orford, between second and third either. So if Bushell and Wilkins... we all want to win a race, don't get me wrong, but if they start battling again, this could become as much as a 7-kart battle for the top spots here.
Hitting your apexes, clean lines is so crucial in this situation now. And you can see the benefit for Andy Orford of him making that move early, because he, as you said, Howard, he's not on the bubble. The man in danger at the moment is Dean Everest, as changed for the lead. Jake Wilkins has got through. Now, this is an important lap for the two leaders. They've got to get back working together to make sure they're not going to fall into this group behind. 55.1, 55.5 for Wilkins and Bushell. All the chasing pack are in the 54s here.
Dean Everest is having to go defensive for the first time I can recall, Andrew. He's aware that James Britton is right with him now. And we've got at least this and another lap to go. Scanlon down the inside of Ely at the back of this pack, as this is the top two battling it out. Wilkins having to defend against Andy Bushell. And they're going to be caught by this. Look, it is now that 7-kart stream here for the head of this field, for the sharp end of the field. Only the top 4 can go through. There's a penalty bin. I'm just checking penalties. There's been one for Keaton Ford for a restart on the grass, but I don't think anyone in this top 7, Andrew, are carrying penalties, as I think, are they going to be shown last lap this time? Yes, they are. Here we go then. Who's going to get the promotion spots?
Well, this is all open. Very rarely do we see this in a C final. Normally you get at least the leader off the front by this stage of the race, and it's all breaking down behind. Dean Everest getting very robust there with the number 78 of James Britton. James Scanlon's going to go around the outside. Dean Everest may not know that the driver in black and white has a penalty at the moment. Kim Healy's looking for a move as well. Side by side, all three of them go. All three of them go. Everest, Britton, Scanlon, all off. And the door opens for Kim Healy to step through into the top 4. 15 seconds to go. Jake Wilkins is on the way to a C final win. They don't need to fight now. They've got their positions in the B final confirmed. What a dramatic C final it has been. Jake Wilkins is going to come round the final corner to take the race win. And it was all about survival. Jake Wilkins wins the C final. Andy Bushell qualifies for a B final for the first time in 2023. Andy Orford wisely keeps his head and drives through to third, and